everyone. So this section's a nice section, section 5.7. This is under the note packets on Blackboard, so you can find this if you want to print it. And if you don't want to print it, of course you don't have to. You can just take some notes on it. So we've already done this section. We've already talked about this section where we've talked about the mean. And so I popped this back up there. Remember, we had to sum or add up a set of numbers and then divide by the total numbers we have. So let's just review that. And what I want you to do, I want you to read this question, and I want you to find the mean of the times that these students were asked to complete a maze. Okay, so pause video and take your time and figure out the time it took for the average time, the mean time for these students to complete the maze, and then turn back on the video. All right, so let's see. There's 7 students, so I'm going to calculate it right here. We've got, now notice when I put these in, after I put the 7 pieces of data in, I'm going to hit enter. 13.8 and 18.5. I'm going to hit enter and then divide by 7. So did you guys get 14.3? Okay, so the mean, and I'm going to use this bar right here to find the mean. That is the symbol for mean, an X with a bar over it. So who completed the maze in the shortest time? Looks like poor Carlos. He was the pokiest. Oh wait, no, that means he was fast. So Carlos was super fast. So he zipped right through the maze. And the longest time looks like Danny, right? Danny took the longest. Okay, so they want to know then how many students took longer than the mean. Okay, well the mean's 14.3, so not longer, not longer, not longer. Oh, there's 1, 2, 3. So 3 students, do you notice that, took longer than the mean? How many students took longer than the mean? That would be 3 students. And then how many students took shorter? Let's just make sure. So that's 1, 2, 3, no, 4. So that adds up to 7. Okay? So go ahead and read this question. They just want you to find the mean for the hourly wage of the bus drivers. So turn off the recording and just find the mean of the 2, 4, 6 pieces of data. Just make sure you hit enter before you hit divide. Okay, that's the key thing. Okay, so I'm going to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 divided by 6. It looks like the mean hourly wage is $14.53. Okay, let's try one more. One more before we get into some new stuff. So this is a problem out of the My Math Lab. It says the 10 tallest buildings in the world as of 2012 are listed. Okay, this is the height in feet. So it says find the mean of the 5 tallest buildings. So these are in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then after that, they want you to find the mean height of the 8 tallest buildings. So turn off the video and then give it a shot. Turn it back on and I'll do it with you. Okay, let's see. For the first 5 tallest buildings, we're going to add these up. Hit enter and divide by 5. So I got that mean to be 1,911 6/10 of a foot. Okay, so I'll put that here, 1,911.6 feet. And now we're going to do the 8. Okay, you ready? There's 1. I'll dot all these. 3, 6, 7, 8. There's 1. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Divided by 8, 1,750. Okay? So 1,750 feet. All right, so hopefully that's all set. You guys are good to go with that. The other stuff that's kind of new is finding your GPA. All right? And this is important. Y'all should know this because your GPA is something that's pretty important to calculate. So I'm hoping you know, like if I said, oh, you got all A's, you would say, oh, I got a 4.0. Isn't that what you would say? 4.0 is all A's. A B is worth a 2.0. A C, oh, I'm sorry, that's a 3.0. 3.0. A C is a 2.0. A D is a 1.0. And an F is a 0.0. Okay. So to find your GPA, you're going to need another column. And the column is going to be a grade times credit column, or a credit times grade, however you want to think about it. So I'll do it in the order that the table that they give us. It's going to be a credit times grade column, and we're going to add this up. We're going to take the sum of that. And then we're going to divide this by the total number of credit hours. Okay, so I need a new column. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, I didn't leave myself much room. I'm going to call this a credit times grade column. Okay, a credit times grade column. And in order to multiply these together, we have to convert it to these number value for the letter. So instead of a B, I'm going to call that a 3. If you want to write 3.0, you can. Instead of an A, I'm going to call that a 4. Instead of a D, I'm going to call it, it's worth a 1. Instead of an A, I'm going to call that a 4. And instead of a B, I'm going to call that a 3. And then we're going to multiply the credit times the grade. So this will be 12. 3 times 4 is, again, a 12. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. And 2 times 3 is 6. And this is the column that we're going to sum and put it in the numerator of our GPA. Okay? So I'm going to add up that column. We've got 12 plus 12 plus 4 plus 12 plus 6. Okay? I added up those 5 numbers. And that's going to go in the numerator of our GPA. And then the bottom is going to be the total credit hours. So this person took 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 credits. Right? Add those up. And you should get 16 credits. So this goes in the denominator. And then when you put that into your calculator, I'm going to round it to 3. But oftentimes, just because it's terminating, I'm going to write here. I'm going to tell you, this is what I think my math lab will want. But if you ever look up your GPA, it's always rounded to 2 decimals. So online, it would say 2.8, and then you would make that higher. So round to 2 decimals. Okay? So we've got some more to play with. And this is definitely on your test. It's on the final. You need to be able to calculate a GPA because you should understand how your GPA is calculated. All right. So this one I'm going to come up and sneak in a different one up here in a minute. So let's do this one to go with this GPA, this one to go to this GPA, and then I'm going to come up and I'm going to sneak in another one up here, okay, that goes along with this one, and you'll know what I mean in a minute. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is put a credit times grade column. And that's how we're going to calculate our GPA. We need the sum of that column. So an A is worth a 4.0 for these A's. A B is worth a 3. An A is worth a 4. And a D is worth 1. So now you're going to take the credit times the grade. Okay? So this will be a 12. Credit times a grade, this will be another 12. 3 credit class, if you get a B, that's 9. An A and a 4 credit class, that's big, that's good, that's 16. And then a D in a 3 credit class, that gets you 3 points. And this is what we're going to add up, and that's going to go in the numerator of your GPA. So I pulled out my calculator, I put those 5 scores in, hit enter. That's the numerator of your GPA. And then the denominator is the sum of all the credits. All right, so this is 9 and 4 is 13, 14, 15, 16. So this goes in the bottom of your fraction. And then when we put 52 divided by 16, this person's GPA is a 3.25. Okay? Why don't you pause the video and try this one, and then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to change a couple things here, and we're going to see what happens. Okay? We're going to change a couple things. But go ahead, pause this and figure out the GPA. All right, let's see how this person did. So we've got a credit times grade column. Okay, so in order to do this, we need to convert these to numbers, these letter grades. So an F, not so good, right? They got 0. A C is a 2, another C is a 2, and a D is a 1. This person had a rough semester. Okay, so 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, so GPA, we're going to add that column up. So 12, 13, 14, 15, that goes in the numerator. And then in the denominator goes the total number of credits. So that goes in the denominator. So then we'll pull out our calculator. This person got a 1.25 GPA. I should put these here. Always to 2 decimals. Okay, guys? Always round it to 2. All right. So what I want to do is on the back of a sheet of paper, I'm going to, you don't really have to write this down, but what I'm going to do is I wanted to show you the impact that, like an A in a 3, here, I'm just going to make up a new one. I'm going to give someone these exact same grades, okay? I'm going to give someone these exact same grades, But what's going to happen is these credit values are going to be different. Okay? And I'm telling you, it makes a big impact, the credit values. Okay, so you can just watch this. So we've got nursing, sociology, French, chem, and history. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that nursing was just a 1 credit class. Okay, that sociology was, I'll say 3 credits again. The French class was 4 credits. This chemistry was just like a 1 credit lab, and this history class was big. It was 6 credits. But they got the exact same grades. An A, an A, a B, an A, and a D. Do you see? Exact same grades. A, B, A, D. A, B, A, D. The only thing I switched around was the credits, like how much the credits were worth. And you're going to see this has a really big impact on your GPA. Even though the grades are the same, I changed the credits. All right, so an A is a 4.0. An A is a 4.0. A B is a 3. An A is a 4. And a D is a 1. All right, just the same as before. 4, 4, 3, 4, 1. So now let's make our credit times grade column. Okay? So we've got 1 times 4 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 4 is 4. And 6 times 1 is 6. Okay? So we've got a total of, so our GPA, I'll write it down here. Remember, this goes, we're going to put this number in the top of our fraction. 4 plus 12 plus 12 plus 4 plus 6. So take your time, get that in there. So this person got a 38 upstairs, and they took 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 credits. And the total credit goes in the bottom of your fraction. So look at that. Even though their grades, their letter grades are exactly the same, look at the differences in the GPA. It's because the weight of the courses are different, and the weights are how much those credit hours are worth. So a D in a 6 credit class is really going to impact your grade rather than getting a D in a 3 credit class. Do you see that? It makes a big, big difference. Getting an A in just a 1 credit class isn't going to be as impactful as an A in a 4 credit class. Okay, so a lot has to do with your GPA. It's not only your grades, but how many the credits are worth. And so I think this is interesting. So what I did is I found a catalog. I found a CCC catalog, and in this catalog, they show you how to calculate your grade. Okay, so let me look down here, right down at the bottom. Do you see this? So they give you an example. Now here, this is what I wanted to show you about. This is in our catalog, and so you can see an A is a 4, a B is a 3, a C is a 2, a D is a 1, and an F is a 0. But if you wanted to know the weights of the other scores, there's an A minus is a 3.7. Do you see a B minus is a 2.7, whereas a B plus is a 3.3, right? So you can see all these, they're all weighted. And then in the catalog, they gave you an example, which I thought was kind of cool. Right? So you can see they're taking the grade times the credit hour to get this new column. So a C is 2.3, so they took 3 times 2.3 to get 6.9. This has no value, just a P grade, so it has no value. They got an F. Oof, in this one, that's not good. 3 times 0 is 0, and a 1 credit that they got a B, that'd be 3. And so you add these up, and then you're only going to divide by the courses that have a value. So it would be 9, 10. This doesn't have a value. We don't include that. So they got a 21.9 divided by, so it says 21.9 points by 10 credits equals 1.9. Take the 21.9 and divide it by 10, and that's why they said the GPA would be a 2.19. I thought that was kind of cool. If you want to it on catalog, look up what the other grades were worth, not just the A's, the B, but an A minus and a B plus. All right. So you can try this, my math lab. It shouldn't be too terrible. If you have any questions, of course, give me a call and room. Okay. Take care.